aka Razor Hatchet stuff here. I know I don't have any face paint or anything on. I don't even have regular makeup on right now. And I'm in my pajamas. That's because I want to show you the raw, unfiltered me, who I really am. Without makeup, face paint, cosplay, or anything to get in the way. And this is basically a story of becoming me. I'm not going to do a draw my life. I'm just instead going to tell you about my life and how I got from point A to point B and everything in between. First off, whenever I was younger, I was always the odd kid. I was bigger than everybody else, weirder, that kid that always gets picked last for gym class, even though they might be the best at the game, but nobody really wants to talk to them because they're just not bad, but they're just odd. That was always me. I was a loner. I actually received the nickname Lone Wolf, and that had stuck with me for quite a while because I was the odd kid, and I was the passive-aggressive type that would not... I was very shy, very scared. I was the one that everybody knew they could kind of step all over, or if they really wanted to, and I wouldn't fight back unless I really snapped, which that took a lot for that to happen, which is kind of a sad thing, but it's something that I went through. Back in 7th grade, around 2008, one of my only friends at the time, during middle school, 7th grade, I had a small, close-knit group of friends. Many of them I am still friends with today, but there was one in particular, my friend Katie. Me and her were basically like sisters, and we still are good friends to this day. Hey, but we might not talk as much, but I've mentioned her in other videos, so yeah, we still are good friends. And, well, me and her used to share an MP3 player because we only had enough money for one of our parents. My parents bought me an MP3 player, and she didn't have enough money to buy her own or have her parents buy her one. And she was actually doing without food. And some days at school we would share lunch and everything, and I didn't mind because my family was, at the time, had money and everything. We were doing great, and she didn't. I didn't want her to go hungry, so I would always pack 2 of everything in my lunch, or have my mom pack it, because I didn't eat school lunches. Yeah, she had free or reduced lunch, but usually that was disgusting and really not really food, so I'd pack 2 of everything, and we would share food. We would share school lunch. We'd share lunch at school. She told me one day, hey, you know, this weekend's my weekend with the MP3 player, because we would pass it back and forth between classes, and every other weekend one of us would take it home with us. She's like, hey, it's my weekend with the MP3 player. You mind if I put some music on it? You'll like it. I was like, okay, sure, whatever. We like basically the same music anyway. Why not? She comes back to school Monday morning and hands me my MP3 player and said, I put some stuff on it. Please listen to it. I looked at her like, okay. She's like, I was like, what kind of music is it? She's like, it's rap. But it's not the bad kind. I was like, Katie, I don't like rap. She flat out gave me the straight on bitch face, like, really? Just listen to it. So I did. I listened to the music, and it was a band called Insane Clown Posse. Now you see where this is going. Well, I would listen to the lyrics. I found myself listening to the same song 4, 5, 6 times over and over again, really delving into the lyrics. The first song I ever heard of Insane Clown Posse was Tilt-A-Whirl and Hall of Illusions. Those were my first 2 songs, and I was like, okay, what is this? At first I really didn't like it because of the horrorcore, or it was a lot more than I was used to, but I really like that stuff. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just still listen to it. Then I was like, whenever I had listened to Hall of Illusions once, I was like, okay, there's probably something in there that I'm missing. Maybe I should give it another listen. So, and after the 3rd time listening to Hall of Illusions, I kind of got the message that this is about how you should be and what is good, and that if you like these people that are bad, you'll go to the same place they're going. You'll be shown an illusion that your life should be like, but you had to mess up and now you're going to go to hell because of what you did. And at that time, I still was going to church every Sunday. Eventually, I kind of faded away from that. But middle school was also the time where I really decided, hey, I'm going to take my life in my own hands, and I'm going to do everything that I choose. And I'm really going to stick to my whole heart decisions. And eventually I left church because of bullying, and I'm not really going to delve into what caused me to disown the belief in God, because that is a very violent subject with many people, so let's just skip over that. Just say that a few events in my life caused me to not really believe as much. I still am spiritual and somewhat religious. I said in other videos I am Norse. I believe in the Norse gods. But not only just them, I believe that there are higher powers that are looking out for us. That's all I'm going to say about religion. But later on in middle school, I decided that, hey, there's something about me. Maybe my parents were wrong, that it's not wrong to like a girl or girls, or I really didn't know about myself. I had really discovered for the first time that I was bisexual. And later on I discovered I was pansexual, but that's later down the road, and we'll talk about that in a little while. And I really became depressed and somewhat suicidal because my parents are old school, let's just say that, and they weren't really into this stuff. They didn't know if it was just a phase or anything, and they wanted to treat it as, oh, it's a phase, she'll grow out of it. But yeah, and after a time my friends introduced me to something called anime, My first anime that I watched was Naruto. Then in 2009, I found this YouTube channel called Fighting Dreamers Pro. There are many YouTube channels and other people from YouTube and things that I'll say after this, but just know I'll link all of the YouTube channels that are still active in the description. Fighting Dreamers Pro. I found it due to me and my friend being silly one day and daring me to look up Sasuke and Naruto yaoi. I did that, and to my surprise, I actually really liked it. That's how I got into yaoi. And I saw cosplay of Fighting Dreamers Pro cosplaying Sasuke and Naruto. I was like, wow, these must be a couple in real life. Lo and behold, they were. I'm not sure about the guy, what his individual name is outside of the group. His cosplay name is outside of the group, but he turned out he was transgender. They both got married as Sasuke and Naruto, but he was transgender, and he cosplayed Naruto. He was born female and transgendered and transferred to male. So that was my first experience with transgenders, and I was like, okay, what is about these people? And that's kind of when I started discovering who I really was. That maybe I wasn't fully female, but I knew in my heart that I wasn't fully male either. Later down the road, I'm role-playing on a site, on an MMO called Wonderland Online with one of my friends, and he's like, hey, you know there's a thing called furries, right? I see how you're always into things like wolves and everything. Well, you can actually roleplay as a wolf on this site. I was like, okay. Sure, that'll be cool. Give me a link. He gave me a link to a thing called Fur Nation. I joined the site, and later down the road, lo and behold, I did become a furry. And I created my first persona, Luna Reinhardt's. I have since deleted my Fur Nation account and changed characters, but Luna was my first persona for a very long time. She was my only persona. And I found friends there, and I was starting to watch fursuit videos and everything, and I really found a loving, warm reception with the fandom as a whole. And I frequently visited a YouTube channel of a fur that used to go by the name Okie Dokie Coyote. He has since changed personas, but I loved his YouTube videos. I watched him since before he got real popular in the fandom, and it's like, this is why I want to be a furry, this is why I want to be a fursuiter, this is why I want to be the happy-go-lucky, friendly person, and like him. Well, I got the surprise of my life when I went to Texas Furry Fiesta 2012. Texas Furry Fiesta 2012 is when my life changed for the better. I went to the convention not really knowing what to expect. My dad had taken me. I had plans to go beforehand, but my boyfriend at the time went in the military and was not good, and we had broke up, so I didn't really know if I still wanted to go, but my dad was like, hey, I know you really want to go, so I'll take you. We got a room at a hotel that was not the main hotel, and we drove 4 hours from where I live to Dallas. And we stayed Friday till Sunday. We went home Sunday night. Sunday morning. We went home Saturday. We stayed Friday and Saturday. Went home Friday and went home Saturday afternoon after the fursuit parade. And I really did love the convention. And when I walked in the door Friday, I was like, who is this? I think I knew them. Because I didn't understand, like, he had just gotten a new suit, and I did not really recognize the suit because I hadn't seen the unveiling and everything. This was the first time he was ever suiting in this suit. I was like, that's Oki. And I walked up to him, hey, are you Okie Dokie Coyote? He gave me a grin and was like, I better be. I'm wearing his underpants. And I was like, okay. And we got to talking, and me and Oki became friends since then. And he's really been a mentor and basically a father figure to me ever since. And then later down the road, I get back into anime because I had taken a break for that, and I find this guy on YouTube called Joey Blonde Wolf, who really spoke to me about how being genderqueer is not something that's bad. Joey is biologically female, goes by the name of Joey Blonde Wolf, or Joey anywhere he goes, and is genderqueer. He's not transgender. He's none of that. He is biologically female and still acts and dresses female. Oh, but is actually just a normal person. That he showed me that you can be both. That you can be one. You don't have to be one or the other. You can be both and still be a loving, kind person. And yeah. During this time, I was like, when I was going to Anime Matsuri again for the first time, I was like, why is everybody, all my friends, and were talking about this thing called Homestuck. And my friends were talking to me about it in school and everything, and I was like, dude, I'm never gonna do this. I will watch any anime, but this is like too popular. Well, I went back to Anime Matsuri for the first time and I was like, okay, what are these things? It wasn't until I was on a Black Butler roleplay, a character that I had made when one of my friends on Google Plus that I roleplay. Yeah, I use Google Plus for roleplay. And they were like, hey, look at this video. They had just posted a video, Carcat singing Jingle Bells. I was like, who is this lovable, cute douchebag? And I started reading Homestuck to find out who he was after that. And turns out I am really into Homestuck. Like, really into Homestuck. And I really view myself as in some of the characters' shoes. Gamzee, for instance. I love that Gamzee's not normal. He's definitely the outcast of the group, and that's how I always was. And some of you may know by now that I really identify myself with Gamzee. That is my main Homestuck cosplay, and will be to the end of time now. Well, I met this girl, I found this girl's YouTube just by accident, looking up a few things Homestuck related, some makeup tutorials and all that, and I was like, Miss Undead Rainbow, what the hell? But Miss Undead Rainbow has since become one of my best and favorite people that are inspirational, and she is amazing. She talks about things that you really don't get to talk about, out in normal everyday life, and how that your normal face for us outcast freaks, what have you, your normal face is your mask, and underneath you have your freak. And slowly you come out of your shell and that mask of the normal person breaks away. That's exactly how I felt. And that's me. There's also Plink Oceans, who basically showed me that not all cosplay groups and everything is so far away. Just them answering my Tumblr question as Gamzee and interacting with me was enough to say, oh, I actually can talk to these people. And since then, I started my YouTube channel through understanding and everything. I wanted to be like Joey. I wanted to be like Miss Undead Rainbow. I wanted to be like Fighting Dreamers Pro and Plink Oceans. I wanted to be like Oki, and I wanted to get myself out there and really be who I am and help some. And if me being who I am and talking to you guys helps people along the way, that's the only thing I could ever ask for. People that are growing through some of the same things that I went through in life. You know, if I had something like this, somebody sitting there and talking to me, I would be elated. I probably wouldn't have took so long to find out who I really was if somebody would sit down and take the time out of their day to say something. Well, this video is getting really long, and I want to say thank you to everyone that I really loved each one of your videos. I promise to all my subscribers and everybody that watches these videos of mine that I will always take the time out of my day to comment and read everything you say, and help you out with anything. That's why I made this YouTube channel, to help people. So just give me a comment or an inbox, and I will sure as hell try my best to respond in a timely manner. I will respond to you, so see ya. I wish every one of you an awesome day. This has been Sages Fixus, aka Razor Hatchet Step, signing off.